And a very, very warm welcome along, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is, of course, a Thursday before Good Friday. So for a lot of us, it is, of course, an honorary Friday today. I hope everyone's doing very well today. Welcome in, first of all, to Samake and Kanbei over on Switch. And welcome in Gemma Barnes, Kanbei once again, Seth Kearney, Adrian, to Chad Northern, and to D1 and everybody else. Welcome in Urban Huntsman over on Twitch as well, and good morning Deadpool. I hope everyone's doing very well today. Before we get into the stream today, I do just want to say I was a little bit ill a couple of hours ago, so if the energy levels are slightly lower, you know why. I'm going to try my best to make it through till the end of the stream without feeling too unwell. Hopefully my tummy plays ball, we'll have to see. We are going to be running Trico today, though. It's the one out of the three I've been dreading. Let's be honest, grass types and Johto don't go very well together, but we do get part dragon type, which will at least ease some of our issues later on. Now, there is one thing I need to do, and that is restart the entire game, which may seem a little bit weird, but we need to ensure that megas are enabled. And we're actually going to do it at 2 o'clock at night, because we want to take advantage of the Poliwag. So it's very rare we get to see the actual intro to the game. Let's call myself Squidgy. Now, I don't set my starters here. Here's one of the places you can set your starters, but I never set it here, because I usually have a save point after Elm has done his yapping in the lab. Mostly so that I can ignore that bit where you're supposed to mash A instead of mashing B. I don't know how to use the phone, no, so we want to change Chikorita into Trico. Set Hidden Power, we'll go Hidden Power Ice. HM Friends to be guaranteed? Absolutely. Set extra options for the game? Yes, we want that. We don't want to modify our Hidden Power. We don't have an ability, no limit on shooters, we're not going to be using those anyway. Yes to evolve, yes to mega evolve. We don't want the rival starters to change, and we don't want any of the extra options. There we go. Now we can get our Trico. That was why we didn't have mega evolutions and I had to override it yesterday. Samake, you've opened a Gen 1 pack. Let me get that up on screen for a little bit. I think because I'm going to be a little bit lower energy, we can have the card opening on screen. Let's refresh it and see what's gone wrong there, because that was a Gen 2 pack that opened on screen. There we go. There's a Weedle, a Nidorina, and a Goldeen. The challenge patch is fun. Just a lot of effort to code. Now that we're in game, I will move that. In fact, can I get that kind of less obnoxiously on the screen? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So we can still see it out the corner of the screen if anyone wants to open a pack. We'll put it just over here, over the splits. So it might be really teeny tiny, but we'll see the pack openings. Let's take a look at our stats. Level 5 with 20 HP. Holding a berry with Pound and Leah. 11 in attack, 9 in defense, 13 in special attack, 12 in special defense, and 13 in speed. Very first Gen 3 pack opening ever, and you get Meditite, Absol, and Wingull. Added that in about 10 minutes ago. Anyway, that's enough faffing about. We're all here for a challenge run. Let's get on with it. See how we do. It's rare to be playing at night, but it will give us the best option to get some Poliwag. So Falkner is going to be our first issue, I reckon. We've got Absorb now, which does mean that once we find some Poliwag on the next route, we will at least be able to knock them out in one and regain some health. So that's going to be good both actually for beating up Geodude and Poliwag. That's a very good question, Adrian. So what I do is I look at the Gen 3 TM Learn set, the Gen 4 TM Learn set, and the Gen 3 and 4 Tutor Learn sets. So I pull all the moves from those 4 different categories, and then I run them through a little script which cross-references them with what is a Gen 2 TM and what is a Gen 2 Tutor move, and that's how we end up with our TM Learn set. So it's as close as possible to the faithful Gen 2 Learn set. Completely agree. It would have been much nicer to have a physical attacking set on Trico. The Learn set lends itself to being a physical attacker. That is very true, Kanbei. I backport all these moves. Then I never bloody teach half of them. Zubat could be a bit of an Achilles heel early game. Trying to get as many experience points as possible for the early part of the challenge. I'm not sure if we're going to get Swords Dance in this one. I can't quite remember if that was part of the Gen 3 Learn set. I know it's not on Trico, but it might be on Grovyle and Sceptile. I did make these backports about 3 weeks ago, so my memory of the exact moves is a little bit hazy, which is why we've got the Learn set on screen. Even if I had the best memory in the world, I think I'd struggle to remember every single Learn set. I'm happy with how the sprite came out, especially considering green is my weak colour. How do I think Galarian, Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme would do in Johto? I think it'd annihilate. I genuinely think we could get top 10 with Mr. Rhyme and Mr. Mime and Mr. Crime. If we didn't start with Mime Jr. anyway. Like if we were doing just what are the end of the lines with Mr. Rhyme only, I think we'd beat Electabuzz. Electabuzz, I think, got a 112 at the end of the line series. It is very much time to see whether it's a Chikorita problem or just a grass-type problem. My hunch is it's a grass-type problem. Good morning, Royal K-Man. I hope you're doing very well today. But we shall have to see. Got a long way to go in this one. I like Mr. Mime more than Mr. Rhyme, but that's because I'm a little bit salty that Mr. Rhyme took away Jinx's unique type combination. Don't get me wrong, I love the grass type. I think it's got some of my favourite Pokemon in it. It's just not very good in Johto. It's the game that lets it down rather than the type. Interesting you should say that. I'm going to pause the timer. It's going to be one of those streams. Interesting that you should say that Jinx deserves an evolution. There we go. Have a really bad drawing of a Jinx evolution that I've made. Called Voctaria. I am not an artist. She is nightmare fuel, but then isn't Jinx? I've been theory crafting her signature move. It's going to be a combination of Thrash and Mean Luck. So it will lock the user in for the Thrash turns, as it were. And then she'll get confused as to why it'll lock the enemy in, I should say, for the turns that she's singing about. And then she'll get confused as to why the enemy didn't like her song. It's one of those, the sprites look better than the so-called artwork that I made. Because I'm pretty good at doing Gen 2 sprites. I'm not very good at doing like the Sugimori style artwork. So I just got paint, like the paint bucket out in Photoshop. Yeah, like a trapping version of Uproar is a good way to describe it. Having Pursuit's going to be a godsend. It does mean we've got something for Rival 2. And at least we resist the Bellsprout Vine Whip. So we can do Sprout Tower. Thank you, Seribot, over on Twitch. And unlike a Pokemon, say, like Sunkern, we get a normal type move. So we're not going to be relying on, like, just Absorb for Falkner. So I still think it's going to be a tough challenge. I just don't think it's going to be as tough as we're expecting. And all of you Lantern lovers, I've got good news. Lantern's Run has recorded, the video is fully edited and voiced, and it's coming out this weekend. At long bloody last, I've managed to make a Lantern Run that I'm happy enough with to put out. Sunflora being Grassfire would have been great. And it would have been a unique type combination all the way up to Generation 9. Of course, we did get the Spicy Pepper in Gen 9 to steal that type combination away. One of my friends and I were looking for a very long time for a shiny Spicy Pepper. I'm thinking I want to get up to 16 before beating Falkner, but I have a feeling, you know, that I missed a trainer in Sprout Tower, so it's probably better to get the experience from him first. Yeah, I did. Because at level 16 we'll evolve, and then I think it should be a fairly easy Falkner battle. We won't bother with Dark Cave, we'll just go into the grass. Surprised we didn't one-shot that Spinarak, actually. Is it a range? Yeah, it is. All of the Spinarak today. Exactly, the medium-slow experience group really is paying off here. It means we can do a little bit of pre-grinding. I tried to explain it in the Lantern voice, actually. That sometimes it pays to spend a bit of time early to save time late. Completely agree. Swampert and Blaziken getting a secondary type and then Trico being stuck with pure grass. It's a little bit harsh on the line, isn't it? Good news, I've already got a Durant backport made. I can totally see what you mean about the grass flying vibes with this one. Let's take on Falkner. Pidgey was never going to be an issue. Even with a crit, we crit back, we win. 10-26. No resets. Pretty bloody good start, all things considered. So that is big obstacle 1 out of the way. We're going to keep hold of quick attack for the Bugsy battle. Because I think we might need the priority move to beat him up. Please don't hit yourself. A lot of the issue we're going to be facing at the moment isn't so much that the grass type is weak to everything. It's that so much resists the grass type. At least we've got Absorb to regain some health. We're definitely going to be beating up that Wooper as well, don't you worry. We're coming for its lunch money. Kanbei, please don't jinx it by saying things like Sacred Fire's going to come from Clefairy. It'll be all on you now, if that happens. I would honestly prefer Explosion over Sacred Fire. Grovyle looks like it could be a standalone Pokemon. It has such a good... Let me just pause the timer so we can have a look at its front sprite. That, to me, is a really, really strong Pokemon design. It could be another Tropius, i.e. Grass Flying type on its own. He looks like he's having a lot of fun gliding. Especially in his Sugimori artwork, you can imagine him with a hang glider. You know what? I'd never thought of him looking like a fossil Pokemon, Jesse. But now that you've said it, I can totally see where you're coming from. He's not flying, he's falling with style. Good thing is about not being grass poison. We can beat up Slowpoke without worrying about having a super effective psychic type move against us. We'll pick up Swift and we'll replace Pound with Swift. Wooper, we can drink you. I can totally see why some people don't like this line. It's my least favourite out of the Gen 3, but it's not exactly a dislike for the line. It's more, I think, the other two lines are stronger, both visually and gameplay-wise. That kind of question I don't even want to think about. Did I purchase Repels? Yes, I did. Like, how does it drink a Pokemon? Because that's what you're doing. Let's now pause the timer, catch ourselves some HM friends. I have updated, by the way. After, I think it was yesterday's stream, we noticed some leaderboards missing from the result command. I have gone through and updated the result command. Would be cool to see a Backportal Swampert. Would be cool to see me actually manage my website properly. so I'm uploading these backports again. But I'm moving away from Squarespace, so I'm rebuilding the website from the ground up. With the amount of water there is in Hoenn, initially you think the grass type probably gets a very easy ride, until you realise that the lion's share of Pokemon you find in the water in Hoenn either share the flying type or the poison type. Have a safe jump over, Urban Huntsman. Welcome in, Jared. I hope you're doing well today. Level 21 is not bad for us going into Bugsy. I'm glad you're doing well. I completely agree there, Carnage. We were talking about it a little bit earlier on. Like, SCEPTILE needs help, really. It needs that secondary typing. I reckon flying would have been a good secondary typing. Or I could see grass fighting as well. Because that would also give it the resistance to bug that I think would help. We did get half a grass flying starter with Rowlet. Let's take on Bugsy. I've thought about backporting Hisuian Typhlosion, but I've not got anywhere with it yet, mostly because the sprite work's going to be very difficult. It is an incredibly detailed Pokemon. First reset, Fury Cutter was always going to make our day bad. But we just need 3 Swifts. And we get the Hive Badge. That was indeed a swift victory. I think we might even have outsped, honestly. We've got 95 base speed. So we aren't exactly slow. Oh, we low rolled there. Unnecessary extra turn. Oh, we are going to upgrade Swift to Headbutt now as well. Getting Leaf Blade's going to help, and I think Thunder Punch will as well. I honestly think the worst line for us in this challenge is going to be the Magnemite line. Let's reset my Route 34 encounters, ensure we get the Abra. Thunder Punch is going to help out on Price and Chuck mostly, and it could probably do a fair bit of damage to Claire as well. Because it'll run neutral for slightly... Actually, no, we'll have the Ice Badge boost, won't we? So Hidden Power Ice will do roughly the same as Thunder Punch on Claire's Kingdra. True, we will have Leaf Blade as well. I'm so used to the grass type being an absolute hindrance that I forget sometimes that it can come in useful. Thinking very, very late game. Thunder Punch will be brilliant for Red's Charizard, the one Pokemon we're going to be weak against there at Red. Yeah, one good grass move out of a lot of them, and we're lucky enough to have it on the learn set in 4 levels time. It's a damning indictment on Gen 2 and Grass type, with the fact that we have to backport a move to make the Grass type actually half viable. Let's put the correct move in the correct slot there. Please don't backseat. There's a reason I've not bought 2 Thunder Punches. It's because I'm doing money management and we will be back in Goldenrod by the time we need another one. That might be an overlay quirk, you know. It probably is the 70 base power one. I will double check that. Yep, it is 70 base power. That's an overlay quirk, unfortunately. So let's fix that on the overlay. So it turns out that we must have had another Pokemon Run Leaf Blade as a backport. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please do remember to like this stream. It does make more... It does tell YouTube that you're having a very good time and it makes more people available to join the fun here. Good catch, though. I wouldn't have been able to spot that on the overlay. I do need to come up with some better handling for when we have a move that's changed power over the generations. Yeah, fast grass type with Spore would be an absolute nightmare in any generation, but particularly Generation 2. Right, let's see how bad Whitney is. I think Breloom would struggle, honestly. Your cash is safe. And I'm very glad about that. 24.56 for the plain badge. Anything that's part grass type is always going to have a tricky time, shall we say, throughout Johto. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's noticed Clefairy has Demon Eyes in this generation, Carnage. It's worse on Clefable. Clefable looks positively dead behind the eyes. I'm half tempted, you know, to sack Pursuit. Because super effective Pursuit is going to do what? 80 power? Whereas a regular Thunder Punch would do 75. And that would cover super effective pretty much for everything that Pursuit... Or neutral, I should say, for everything that Pursuit would be super effective for. We can also sack Screech as well. Exactly, we save a text box with super effective text. So I think what we're going to do... It does have its boosted damage when the opponent switches out, but... It's very rare that the opponent switches out, and it's not predictable when they do switch out. So it's not a reliable strat, unfortunately. I think we're going to go full special attacker as well, once we've got hidden power. That was so weird yesterday, Red switching his Pikachu like that. I'd never seen that behaviour from Red before. Gen 1's AI is fairly easy to get the read on. We've had loads of ground types, including water ground, before at Red, and he's never switched. Because we saw it with, I think it was Quagsire. We used the fact that Pikachu's water ground, that Pikachu's electric, to set up 6 curses. So I reckon it must have been something to do with our specific stat spread. Definitely one to look into. Though I don't think I'm smart enough to know the answer. Meowdy Rumis, I hope you're doing very, very well today. Yeah, I've run the Fampi line, didn't switch out then. I think he just wanted his Venusaur to have a real look at the delicious booty that we'd put on Swampert's head as a Mega. Because that thing was thick with 2 C's in all the wrong places. We will be seeing our Mega SCEPTILE sprite in probably about 10-15 minutes. I didn't realise until I saw the sprite in game properly just how much I'd made the side of Swampert look like a bum on its Mega sprite. We've had a 10 to the bum so far. I have no idea what we're going to see in this one coming up. We're talking about that, and I've just had a look at my YouTube dashboard, and we're on 69 views, so I think the universe is trying to tell us something here. That's not 69 concurrent viewers, by the way. That's 69 total people have clicked on the stream today. Exactly, nice. I had 2 super effective moves for that Noctowl, and I decided to use the resisted Leaf Blade. Electric really is a good type for the Lighthouse. It's one of the few places where I feel like yesterday Lantern excelled. Sailor Ernest was defeated there. We'll get the Super Repel. I reckon Glass and Electric? No, Grass and Electric could be a fun type combo to run. The only Pokemon I can think of off the top of my head with that type combo is Rotom Mo. Gen 2 did this thing with its gym leaders where they were like, we don't want to have Gen 2 Pokemon on the teams. Hisuian Electrode, of course, that's the other one. We do actually have a backport of Hisuian Electrode. It is not a good Pokemon. At least for the Gen 2 challenge. Some people still use alarm clocks. It's getting less and less common, but definitely still a thing. I mean, they did only add 100 Pokemon into Gen 2. But you would think more of the gym leaders would show off the Gen 2s. Yeah, unfortunately, Gen 2 does not have the badge boost glitch. Have to rely on our actual numbers. And it's sad. There is a price badge boost glitch, but it works against you as opposed to in your favour. Oh, we're getting it in evolution. Fog badge, 35, 36, 56. The damage rounding threshold is... People give it far too much credit, honestly. It's okay at lower levels, but by the time you get into like the 20s and 30s, if you're relying on damage rounding, then you need to change your strat, honestly. Yeah, the front sprite is a little awkward, but I think we made up for it with a decent back sprite. You gotta think, we see the back sprite in every single battle. We see the front sprite for like 20 seconds. So I put most of my time and effort into the back sprite. Thing is, you could go the entire game without knowing that Yanma exists. Which says a lot about Gen 2. Yeah, same with Skarmory. Because Skarmory's version exclusive as well, isn't it? You find Yanma as a 1% on Route 34, Route 35, just north of Goldenrod. Skarmory is just south of Blackthorn on the optional route. I like Crystal because it's the most complete game that you can play on the original Game Boy. It doesn't have the extra mechanics that overcomplicate things from Gen 3 onwards. It doesn't have some of the jank that the original Gen 2 games have. So overall, it's the most well-rounded, and it's a long challenge. So overall, it's just my favourite game to run. Yanma feels like it doesn't exist. I've watched bits and pieces of the anime, but I never religiously watched it. Yeah, Larvitar's Silver Cave only, really low encounter rate as well. Yeah, you couldn't get a Beldum until you got it from Steven, I think, in Gen 3. Would you like Houndour? Well, you've got to wait till Celadon catch it at a low level, and it's in slow experience group. I'm not a fan of the Garchomp line, but at least they made it available early-ish, anyway. Platinum righted many, many wrongs with Diamond and Pearl. Phoebus in Ruby and Sapphire is only outclassed by Phoebus in Diamond, Pearl and Platinum. Because at least you don't reset every single day in Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. Then they fixed it in RS, didn't they? You were guaranteed Phoebus if you fished. I think it was by a rock in the day and under a bridge at night, or the other way around. Gen 4 requires immense patience to play at one-time speed. The tiles reset if you change the trendy phrase in Dewford. But in Oris you do get your guaranteed encounter spots as well. I think I've played through Platinum to the end about 3 times. Got no desire to play through it again anytime soon though. Just gonna double check I spoke to her. I don't like Gen 4 or Gen 4 in general. That's my issue. I don't like the region of Sinnoh. You need an entire encyclopedia in order to figure out the mechanics of the Safari Zone in Gen 4 Johto. I got really lucky in BDSP with my Munchlax. I managed to get a Munchlax from one of my very first honey trees. I never really got into the side games, I've got to be honest. They weren't really for me. Yeah, the Safari game was ridiculously over the top for what your rewards were. Yep, Gen 2, when an electric type, can get paralyzed by Thunder Punch. That makes sense. Oh, we've been border Douglas. I have played Gen 5. I've played through every main series Pokemon game at least once. Oh, this is Price, by the way. I'm putting his title card over the battle with him because that's how little respect I have for him. Glacier badge acquired. That means we can move on to try and beat up Jazz. After we've done Jazz, we will take our regular little 3-minute break. Oh, we never got the bloody secret potion, did we? We were too engrossed in conversation. Let's fix that. So, pulling back the curtain a little bit, if I ever do forget the secret potion, I pause the timer, unpause it to get the secret potion, and then repause it to do my movement back. Because that way it's all perfectly in sync then. There we go, we'll unpause now that we're back where we should be. Jasmine pocketing the secret potion. This is Jazz. She's going to be our 7th leader of the challenge. She leads with Magnemite. Ooh, she crit. She's been on the old secret potion again, but it is not enough for her. 4609 for the mineral badge. We'll do what we always do now and make our way through Ice Path, and then we'll take a break once we're ready for the Rockets and Goldenrod. Honestly, I'd take a Pokemon from Jazz. Just for the coverage at this point. Yeah, Natu's another one of those Pokemon they put in a very awkward place. Natu and Smeargle, Ruins of Alph, where nobody will go unless they explore Union Cave. Whole Ruins of Alph thing felt a little bit half-baked for me as well. Like they could have tied that more into the Rocket storyline. See, I never have HM slaves, I have HM friends. I know, so close to first timing all the Ice Paths this week. Made up for it on this one. We are carrying a lot of crap that we don't need. I'm not sure if the Kanto leaders have more Johto Pokemon, but it definitely feels like they have a lot of them. I'm in the wrong bloody building. Right, we're in Goldenrod City. We're going to pause the timer at 49:09. I'm going to take a very, very quick 3-minute break. Use this time to go and have a stretch, maybe grab yourself a drink, go to the loo, do whatever you want to do. We'll all meet back up in 3 minutes' time. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience there. We are good to go for the second part of today's challenge. I think they did put Goldeen and Seaking in Tojo Falls because it learns Waterfall via level up. But having Waterfall in a place that's nowhere near relevant to where you need it was a little bit silly on their part. Janine does have an Ariados, yes. Erica has a Blossom. Sabrina has an Espeon, so that's 3 Gen 2s. Misty has a Quagsire, so that's 4 Gen 2s. Blaine McCargo, 5 Gen 2s. So I think we might actually see more Gen 2 Pokemon on the post-game leaders than we do on Our regular leaders. Oh, of course, Erica does have a jump off as well. Yes, they do have an NPC in the remakes who forces you to get the HM. They probably learned from their mistake. So I reckon a lot of people got soft-locked. Or thought they got soft-locked anyway because they didn't pick up the Waterfall HM. That is a good point. Why is it even a HM in the first place? I don't know what they were doing with Brock in Gen 2, but he was laughable. Oh, great, we're poisoned. For the first 3 generations, maybe... I'm not sure about Gen 4, but definitely for the first 3 generations, every single one of Brock's Pokemon is 4 times weak to grass. Whirlpool was to lock you out of the Whirl Islands, so you didn't get Lugia earlier. But there was probably a better way they could have done that. Giving an Aerodactyl to Brock would have made sense. There we go, rival defeated. Deadpool, you are forgetting the third and arguably most important place where you use Whirlpool. How dare you forget that you can get the Solar Beam TM with Whirlpool as well. That makes it all worthwhile. Gotta beat Birdkeeper up to get it as well, I believe. That's a symptom of early gen Pokemon, isn't it? NPCs just randomly dotted about that give you items that are actually kind of integral to the gameplay experience. But you'd have no idea which NPCs to speak to. And I know they want people to speak to every NPC, but who's got time for that, really? I think if they're gonna have items locked behind NPCs that are seemingly arbitrary, they should at least drop a breadcrumb trail with other NPCs. It's like, say, if you've got to Mahogany and you don't have Fly yet and you've beaten Chuck. Somebody in one of the places in Mahogany could say, Chuck's wife helps trainers traverse the land easier, something like that. Yeah, Wally's dad does come in and fetch you after you defeat Norman in Emerald. It's like a reverse fetch quest. But then I suppose they were developing these games, specifically Gen 1 and 2, in the 90s. And video game design was very different back then to what it is today. Because we're still milking a 25-year-old game for all it's worth, ostensibly, aren't we? Bloody glare. Bloody Arbok. I've never understood why people big up Cynthia to be this really hard boss. I don't know if it's just because of the team I went in with, but I've never found her difficult. Good afternoon, Oddish. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Old as Gen 5, isn't he? Big redhead dude. With Cynthia, she's got really predictable AI, at least in BDSP. So once you learn her AI, you can play around it. Just take in a bug with Quiver Dance and a couple of draining moves. Set up 5 turns against Spiritomb as it tries to sucker punch you. And then it's a sweep. I think for me, the hardest trainer consistently that I've faced doing solo running is Steven up in Meteor Falls. And that's mostly because he loves to spam Toxic. Now it's time for Claire. We are going to Mega Evolve. It probably will work against us, but I think it's time we see the Mega Sprite. Or it could work in our favour and we one-shot everything. The sprite looks good, there's no arse in sight. We one-shot. We're doing well. We've only had one reset with a grass type throughout Johto. We're gonna get Earthquake for our next key battle. Things aren't looking too bad for good old SCEPTILE here. Something I didn't think would happen with SCEPTILE is we're going to get sub 1 hour Claire. 59.49 for the Rising badge. Doing a bit of vitamining now in preparation for the league. I don't normally go for iron, but we had the slots free today. I've only ever played through Legends Arceus once. I'd like to cheat with 8 Pokémon. I enjoyed Legends Arceus first time, but I think it's a one and done game for me. You know, there are some games which you enjoy, but you know you'll never replay. That is Legends for me. I love Starmie, I just wish it had a better time in Gen 2. The intro of Legends is so bloody long, isn't it? I've played Let's Go far, far more than I probably should have done. I like that it's a unique spin on the Pokemon formula. Actually got fairly good coverage at the moment. I was really hoping for a Let's Go Johto and then a new Legends after Let's Go Johto. I think we're fairly unstoppable with our current learn set now. Our big issue is going to be remembering which moves in which slot. Yeah, Bolt Beam in Gen 1 makes Starmie a lot better to run because they're easier to get. We'll say thank you to Kenya Abra, Psyduck, merci to Paris, and the biggest thank you of all goes to you wonderful HM friends, green names in the YouTube chat, and the subscribers with the badge in the Twitch chat. Let's now take a look at our stats. We are level 53 with 170 HP rather. Megastone with Leaf Blade, Earthquake, Thunder Punch, and Hidden Power. 132 in attack, 109 in defense, 154 in special attack, 133 in special defense, and 168 in speed. And this is Will. That was Will. Yeah, Raichu was not good. Do not toxic storm me now, Koga. Beedrill's a brrrr, isn't it? I'm a little bit skeptical about SCEPTILE at the moment, just because of certain trainers. But we're making it work. I love that that was a crit. Oh, Bruno, one day you'll be decent again. Not today, but one day. We are absolutely megaing for Karen. Didn't think we'd need it for the others. That start for Raichu was truly soul-destroying. And then, and I don't mean to sound like a whingy little bitch here, having my arse handed to me in the comments by people who didn't know what they were talking about, telling me I evolved it wrong, really just took the wind out of my sails for a bit. I think we're sweeping here at Lance. There is absolutely nothing the liar with the flyers can do. So we beat him up. I don't think we're going to be matching Blaziken or Swampert's time here. But for a grass type, I am very, very happy with SCEPTILE so far. Like with the Pichu video, I did literally everything I could to make that thing as happy as possible in as quick a possible time. But there's only so much you can do within the constraints of a challenge run. Like, I could have clock manipped to get haircuts, but we'd soon run out of money for haircuts. Couldn't afford vitamins because we'd run out of trainers. A lot of people said just keep on walking around. That's not guaranteed in Gen 2. Yeah, we did go fishing in Newmark Town in the end. Because there's a quirk in just Pokemon Crystal where when you level up, you earn friendship twice as quickly if you're in the same location you caught your Mon. Welcome in, Malik. I'm doing very well, thank you. The more important question is, how are you? Risked that there without the repel. Paid off. I'm glad you're doing great. We're actually having a fairly decent time with a grass-type Pokemon. Oh, talking of Spike-Eared Pikachu, wasn't it a scam you couldn't take that out of the game? I wanted to transfer that thing up. I believe Chilling Lurking, it was literally just a Pokemon Crystal mechanic. And of course, the first thing we'll do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy. This time from the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. Pichu's a baby Pokemon that isn't part of the Jinx Electabuzz Magmar trio. Therefore, it gets bad moves and bad stats. It's time for Surge. Honestly, I'd rather take Tyrogue because at least that evolves at a set level. For a lot of us, it is a 4-day weekend, which is why I've streamed 4 days in a row. I will be taking all 4 days off from stream, although we will have a Lantern coming out over the weekend, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure you are subscribed. I will ask once again, if you are enjoying this stream, please do make sure to leave a like. Lets other people know that this stream is worth watching. And if you're over on Twitch, there is no like button, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy watching a bunch of Cantonian underlevel Pokemon get beaten up. It is very true that there are certain Pokemon just for the merch. And baby Pokemon fit that perfectly. A lot of baby Pokemon do evolve via friendship. There are a few. Namely, Jinx, Electabuzz and Magmar's baby forms, plus Tyrogue that evolve via straight level. But yeah, for the most part, they're friendship evo. At least it's not like Baneri that gets set with 0 friendship from the start. Can take solace in that at the very least. Now that we've got Surge's badge, by the way, Thunder Punch is slightly more powerful than Hidden Power Ice against the Flyers. This is Janine. She is, of course, everyone's favourite pushover. She leads with Crobat. Didn't even bother with her dire hit today. Hiker Jimothy here with his Machamp, goes down in 1. I think we'll take the PP heal via the Pokemon Center. So I think it's going to be slightly quicker than faffing about in the bag. Especially seeing as we have to dip into that one anyway. I'd like to see some new forms as well. And this is Sabrina. She is our psychic specialist of Saffron City who leads with Pescion. She led with Pescion. She's been finished off now. Must remember to pick up the machine part on the way out of the gym. In the meantime, buckle down everyone, it's time for Nugget Bridge. I know this is everyone's favourite part of the game. Nugget Shrubbery. You're not wrong, Galajango. We've got Nugget Shrubbery and Viridian Hedge Maze. I can say that again, Kanbei. This is everyone's favourite part of the challenge, isn't it? Bunch of underleveled trainers. All in a big row, just so that we can face one of our gym leaders. Who then has the audacity to still have trainers in her gym. Almost there. Not too long to wait, Chad, for the Lantern Run. Probably going to release it tomorrow. I love Trash Cloak Wormadam. Genuinely think it's one of the most underrated Pokemon out there. Yes, Super Nerd Tat, Super Nerd Pat, I am exhausted because of Nugget Bridge. Misty Time, she's a water type specialist, we've got a grass type. However, we're not going to Mega just in case we don't one-shot the Lapras. We one-shot the Lapras. Gen 2's so weird for adding new types and making them virtually inaccessible. In the early part of the game. There's a lot of things Gen 2 got right, but then there's an equally long list of things that Gen 2 got wrong. I liked having two early game, two-stage mammal Pokemon. Let's try and not get too fancy with the words. I think that was something that Gen 3 did really well. It's Brock time. We've got 5 Leaf Blades. He's got 5 Pokemon, 4 times weak to Grass. Depends on the game. He's attacked by Zigzagoon in some and by Puchiana in others. Well, that was the very textbook definition of a foregone conclusion for poor old Brock there. I'm a very big proponent of Pokécenter healing, because I think it can be quite a lot quicker, actually, than messing about in the bag. Gen 3's Pokemon distribution, apart from the fact that you see the same Pokemon on certain different on so many different routes, I was very glad that they gave more prominence to the newer Pokemon. That's something that I think Gen 2 didn't do too well. It's Blaine time! We have Earthquake. Fire's also now neutral to us because we've Mega'd. So here is, and that was Blaine. One more gym badge left to go. Gen 3 definitely was a soft reboot of the series. Same with Gen 5. One shot the Pidgeot, very good start. Blue did not know what hit him there. One of the easiest blue fights I think we will ever see. Sub 130 is definitely possible. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee, but we are going to try our best. This is Red, the final trainer of the challenge, and he leads with Pikachu. Except we've not healed up. Kecleon finished once out of the two. Let's not sell Kecleon short here. He crit us. I think the Snorlax is going to be the sticking point here. We're getting really unlucky with the crits. I'm purposely not Mega Evolving until turn 2 because that forces out Venusaur. We're through Snorlax. And we're through Blastoise. That was just about getting the Leaf Blade crit in the right place. I am very happy with that. Very, very, very happy with that. It is a high crit move. We got sub 130. I didn't think we would at the start of this challenge. Let's see where that places us on the leaderboard. 26th place. That is more than respectable. For a grass-type Pokemon, That is more than we could really ask for. I think we should be very proud of that time. Looking at the top 10, it's still Swampert who won our little trio there. Yep, Clodsire on its own on page 2. On page 3, rather. There we have the Clodsire. I wonder why it skips page 2. Must have coded something wrong there. Do we get to see page 2 again? No, we don't. I'll give it a refresh. We are ahead of our other Grass Dragon Executor there with a 133.49. Well, it's been a long time since I played Mousehold. Where was Mousehold on the leaderboard? It was quite high up, wasn't it? Fourth, I think the only reason it was slower than it could have been is because Population Bomb is a multi-strike move. So you get loads more text boxes every single turn. Thank you, Kenya, for the last hour and a half. You've been absolutely fantastic working overtime this week. But you get to go home. We will be meeting again surely very early on next week. We'll save as we always do in front of Nurse Joy at the Pokémon Center. And with that, we're done. It has been an absolute pleasure over the last 4 days here live at 2 PM, well 3 PM on one of the days. I'm going to take the weekend off from streaming. I'll be back on Tuesday. Not sure what we're going to do yet on stream on Tuesday. If you are part of the Discord or if you want to be part of the Discord, I will grab a link. Maybe we can work out something together if we are all in the Discord together. So let me grab a link for you now. I'll put it in both YouTube and Twitch. If you want to find out what we're getting up to, that is the place to be. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking the video as well. We're ending here on YouTube. On Twitch, we're going to be raiding into one of my very favourite people in the world. We're going to be raiding Kim's Mad World. We very rarely get to raid her. But I am going to say thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Lantern over the weekend. I will see you all on Tuesday.